Belgium were ready for this situation even before the Euros began. They knew that playing pretty football is not going to always have you win. They are ready to win at all costs. What they want is a trophy, no matter how stylish they may want to play. For Belgium, they were focusing on winning tight games. And that was their mentality before the Euros even began. Because the golden generations, Romelu Lukaku, before the tournament, he learned something from losing to France, that just not allowing any goals and settling for the kill chances on the counter is okay to win a trophy. Lukaku says he's convinced that the World Cup loss to France offered a lesson in winning football. Grinding out a victory is okay. Now we know that if we want to get a result, let's do it the scruffy way. We're ready. Lukaku says that's something that we now know, and it comes also with the maturity of the players. Lukaku realizes what it takes to win. Belgium realized what it took to win. The fact is, they took the lead. They waited for Fernando Santos to play the high line. They took advantage on the counter. That's what Belgium did. Toby and Jan Vertonghen and Alderweireld are as elite, and their chemistry together is really, really great. Alderweireld and Vertonghen is almost like Chiellini and Bonucci for Juventus. They played so long with each other for Tottenham and Ajax that it's second nature, and these guys play with each other no matter what their age is. But it's okay. Very clearly, Belgium were ready for this kind of game against Portugal. And the fact is Belgium will do everything they can to limit what Italy can do out on the wing and out wide. And they may have to tighten up their midfield because the Azzurri midfield can move pretty well with the ball. And it could come down to Ciro Immobile. May come down to if Chiellini is too hurt and there's not a good young center back for the Azzurri, that is one thing that they must improve on to become the champions again. But, there's another thing when I was reading through the Golden Generation article. It's almost like, diversity and globalism and inclusion. It really helps Belgium because they've got like three unofficial languages, three official languages: German, Dutch, and French. And so these Belgians adapt very quickly with their clubs. People from different backgrounds live at Belgium, live at Brussels. It brings people from all around Europe. It brings in Roberto Martinez, a Spaniard there, Yannick Carrasco, a Portuguese father, I think, and Spanish mother. They bring Romelu Lukaku. They bring a lot of players from the outside. The fact is Belgium are so capped with each other that it complicates things even more. No greater sign of good news could have happened than to say that De Bruyne and Hazard did not suffer any structural damage at all, and that they're 50-50. That changes things immensely. That changes things in the second half. What kind of substitutions you want to make, knowing how much each of these guys exactly do have left, especially the games like 1-1 or something like that. But you got to see how the Azzurri backline is. Got to see how it is after giving up a goal. I don't think it's going to do anything psychologically, but you got to look out for these kind of things. What happens the next match after? Football and unpredictable things can happen. And the fact is people think that the Belgium are completely finished right now because De Bruyne and Eden Hazard are out. But the fact is Dries Mertens and Axel Witsel are very, very creative, talented players who can do very well in the midfield for Belgium. They'll do just fine with with Toby Alderweireld and Jan Vertonghen in the back. You got Denier who's available if you're trying to hold a result late in the game. I don't know if he's going to start. I think he'd be good enough to start against Italy. They don't have the best pace, but they get moving very quickly with the ball. I kind of like that, how they do. If Vermaelen too, all these guys there, the North London back line of of Belgium needs to get it done. I'm pretty amazed at this guy from Maryland. I was like, holy shit, this guy played for Arsenal a long time back in the days. This dude's 35 years old. I mean, he's got plenty of young defenders for Belgium. Plenty of them, lots and lots of experience. How much left do they have left in the tank? And can Thibaut Courtois help out his very tough, versatile back line? Belgium are not allowing goals in the tournament. I mean, only one team has allowed less goals than Belgium. I think it's Italy. Italy's only allowed one goal. Uh, well, number one, it's England, obviously allowing no goals. Italy is at one right now, and Belgium, they're at two. Or actually no. Let's go to the Euro quickly. The group stage. I remember being 7-1 because Devils has Demachi of 71. I mean, this is all part of the narrative. I mean, I can break the whole Golden Generation article if you like in another separate video. I mean, I can do that too as well. I'm just going to leave a comment on everything that was talked about in the article with the specific gematria references. So Belgium have allowed one goal too. Interesting. This game could be 2-2, 3-2 over at Munich. Is Munich? It's got gematria 32. I see Belgium winning 2-1. I can see Belgium winning 2-1. Love Azuri, love him so much. But this Belgium golden generation, I may just have to give the edge in terms of experience. I think I don't want to underestimate that. I want to keep it real. It'd be a great story if they win with COVID, everything that happened with Italy being the epicenter. It'd be really great to see them rally for their country. Really emotional, man, to go through all that. Would love nothing to see that happen for Italy, but once we truly officially get through all the daily cases in Europe, once they vaccinate their people, then they can get done in their countries and they can truly focus on everything else that's going on. And so I think that's what's definitely going to happen by 2024, when this is all recovered, because the stadiums are not 100% capacity yet. And I think that that's made a big difference in terms of the atmosphere and where we are at as a planet in regards to what's happening with COVID, because it certainly affected Copa America too. The first real one that's going to happen is the one after the World Cup, which is 2024, Messi time, baby. What if they put out a bracket for Copa America? Because Argentina won the group. I'm doing a video in Argentina tomorrow about their game against Bolivia. Lionel Messi, the king, 4-1, newborn king Lionel Messi. This guy's going to lead Argentina to the promised land. There's no doubt about it. Messi's going to win on the 10th day. There's no doubt about it in the month of July. Here we go, Messi. What you're going to do. You mean the bad business. You mean the bad business for these guys, including Brazil and Bolsonaro. Argentina did the right thing. We refused to play it in our country. So the bracket is set. I've got some work to do during that time, obviously. Brazil and Chile be pretty epic. Would Messi beat Brazil not once but twice? That'd be punishment enough to go through Bolsonaro. Rematch against Chile, that'd be crazy as hell, but you never know who I'm going to predict for that game. I mean, that's coming. I'm going to make a prediction on that. Okay. We just go with Chile, and Messi gets another shot against Chile. It's fine, man. I mean, what if that happens and we can just kick Bolsonaro in the balls and they can Brazilian people go orchestrate a coup over their corrupt government? I don't know. So go Chile. Colombia, Uruguay, interesting. Yeah, Argentina and Uruguay, Messi going up against some of his mates there at Uruguay. So, Uruguay should be able to beat Colombia, I feel. Forza Cuadrado, but I don't know about Colombia this year. Maybe it depends on which games Maradona's had his best game, something to look at, something to work on with this Copa America. But very, very golden generation that's coming up. There's no doubt about it. Romelu Lukaku, Belgium were ready to do this even before the tournament. It should come if this article was read. It would have come as no surprise that Belgium were ready to defend a 1-0 lead. So I think they would be able to have the capability of doing the same thing. There's no doubt about it. I mean, the defensive backs, the goalkeeper, he was big against Cristiano Ronaldo. I was the one who said that Courtois needs to win the trophy with the international team to be part of the elite company. Still stick with that for Thibaut Courtois to maybe spoil some Italian chances, but feel great about the future for Italy that he shall win the Euro again and maybe make a World Cup final, win the World Cup sometime, maybe 2030 or so. It's going to be really tough to do so. The Euro could finally now be easier. Hopefully, the Euro is harder to win than the World Cup based on Italian standards of winning the Euro compared to the World Cup. I definitely feel that. I mean, this is how you interpret the 13 with Italy. Is the 13 is the lucky number in Italy? This would be the 13th tournament since they won in 1968. Is it going to be 13 straight tournaments without winning, or are they going to win on that 13th tournament since then? I get the feeling that they may have to go 13 full tournaments without winning until that 14th tournament, which, that is why Federico Chiesa is number 14. This is why July the 14th is the 14th day. I mean, that is interpreting the 13th pretty correct. Go make a big point on that in regards to Euro 24 in Italy. I mean, maybe I can do it after the game, and I can go ahead and just wait for this week to happen first, but I'm going to go warn people first. I mean, a lot of people are convinced that Belgium are finished, and I don't think so at all. It's going to be a 50-50 game. Romelu Lukaku is going to make the difference. He is. Lukaku will. He has bound the score like he has in Italy all season long with Inter Milan winning the Scudetto. The riddle was correctly called before the Portugal match. England won. Germany didn't do anything. So I think, Gematria and the Code won that one too. Denmark, tough deal to do, traveling all these miles if you're a Wales player. Czech Republic, I was like 50-50. I was torn for that game, but I'm just like, oh, fuck it. Netherlands, continue to doubt out Denmark. But now Denmark are going to totally make it to the semifinals. To me, it's predictable right now. Maybe it's meant to be predictable. But I don't know. I think that Denmark could have handled them with the way how they fight for sure. They could have pressured a mistake like they licked done, I think. I mean, but England would be a massive bottle job if they don't make it to the final. I mean, I've had England losing to the other side of the bracket. Belgium to still go through on the other side of the bracket. England will have to bottle it against Ukraine or Denmark. I mean, who knows what Denmark have, but I would love to see England against Denmark. I mean, that'd be a pretty great game. See how England do and see how the fairy tale run continues for Denmark. Crazy as hell if Belgium face off against Denmark in the Euro final. That'd be crazy. That'd be epic though. See Italy, Denmark. I don't know many other scenarios out there that can play out, but I'm not gonna. I mean, pretty Italian-esque for Belgium to do this. So they knew Italy was going to win the group. They knew Belgium was going to win the group. They knew Belgium would be drawn against Italy. I mean, Portugal were shooting these garbage shots over the bar. It's like, what was France doing on that defense? I mean, this tournament has been rigged, okay? I don't know what people are watching out there. They need to wake up. Can't make a football match. Of course you can. Everyone's going to be on what they need to do at the current moment in the game. All it takes is one mistake. When you're 0-0, whatnot, it's been proven to happen countless times. Match fixing by the mob, even. But the leagues themselves still are entertainment. That's why you see all the scoring go up. It's been happening that way. I just believe that this message that was said before the tournament, they have to learn their lesson from France in 2018. That's what it comes down to for me. Belgium are willing to go in in tight fashion. Luis Enrique scored his first goal as a player with his international team against Switzerland. Belgium was 3, Denmark was 2. That was Luis Enrique, the Barcelona manager. In my research, they did face off against England in the quarterfinals in 1996. Roberto Martinez, manager of Belgium, is Spanish. Yana Carrasco's mother is Spanish. Belgium opened the knockouts over at Seville, Spain, Seville, España. You know, welcome home, Roberto Martinez. La Roja, the red one. Belgium are wearing the home team colors of Spain. It's been definitely happening so far, and the narratives are very clear on both angles. Is it going to be the year of more uncertainty, or just Italy against Spain again, as in the 2008 quarterfinals, the 2012 final, the 2016 round of 16? I mean, you're going to see Belgium and the Golden Generation, the European Union versus the Brexiteers of England. You see how they took down Angela Merkel today? It was a rigged game. It was a script. I felt bad for the German uh, youngling in the stands crying, So sad. They don't realize that it's all rigged, scripted. You failed to go bomb London to the ground during, World War II. The Nailers are going to win. The fake Nailers are going to lose. Fake nailer like Portugal, who only does it because Belgium is doing it and it's a bad image, they lose. Well, I'm sorry to say that the Italian team is not kneeled at all, but a few players did against Wales because their team was doing it. But now the position is, if the other team kneels, we're going to kneel too. Why did you kneel at the start of the tournament? I mean, the fake kneelers, it's all rigged anyways, because did Germany kneel at the beginning of the tournament? No, of course they didn't, but they only did it because the FA wanted them to. They're not genuine in doing it at all. They're only doing it because their FA or their sponsors or whoever tell them to do it. When they weren't doing it before, that's the only reason why they're doing it right now. Do they hold true to their principles or whatever? They just go along at the face of adversity. That's what, the Kneelers are not going to lose. I mean, all the right wing in England was saying, no, England's going to lose. They're only about kneeling and all that. Well, you showed the unity in England with the Jamaican-born striker, a Jamaican-born forward is scoring goals, and they said, "Oh, why are you playing this guy, Lee? He went 16 matches without scoring. He was bad in the Champions League. He should have played the Champions League final. Now he's flipping the script on the narrative." And he's the goal scorer in all the victories for England. Raheem Sterling is writing a chapter for Black Lives Matter and equality and social justice for all. This is what Raheem Sterling is fighting for. This is what his English kneelers are fighting for. And they are successful so far in the Euros. And the script even knew that England was such a bad team that they avoid all the best teams out there because they made the Netherlands tank one with De Ligt. Netherlands was out. And then number 2, they don't get to face France or Portugal or Belgium or Italy, avoiding all of the good sides. And avoiding Spain. Time to include Spain in there, even though I thought they were overrated, but they play on the easy side of the bracket. They were in trouble really briefly in an extra time. England avoids these guys too. European Union can punish the Brexiteers, and the Brexiteers don't win any Euros. Wales and Ireland and Northern Ireland and England and Scotland and mainland Europe wins Euros, but the Brexiteers don't win. You got to be careful about the riddle with that too. So I'm very excited for Romelu Lukaku because the things are looking great for him in Black Lives Matter to go. Well, Diego Valenzuela, As a Azzurri supporter, the biggest weakness some of the attitude you have is that Giorgio Chiellini is hurt. The fact that he's injured, you have a big physical striker, Romelu Lukaku. If Chiellini not going to be 100%, how will we handle Romelu Lukaku? Although he does typically well against Romelu Lukaku. But Leonardo Bonucci, I'm worried about because he's lost a little bit. But I'm always wondering, you're doing well with the midfield. You're doing well with Chiesa out wide. You got Keane in there. I don't know why Keane's not in the team. But you need to focus on that young world class center back, the next Maldini. But Italy need it. They cannot rely on Chiellini and Bonucci forever. It's time for the Azzurri to find that next young center back. That's what could hurt Italy against Belgium. Is lacking the young center backs when your current center backs are old. And those are the two areas that Italy need to work on. If they lose to Belgium, this is what they need to do. Convince convinced these are the two areas that they need to work to become truly the best in the world that they're capable of. Some things I need to see better. But against the most capped side in the competition, that is such a big challenge. Because Portugal, well, some of these guys weren't on the 2016 side. They're fresh players. They don't have that experience. You're João Felix. And with that big miss and that big blunder there, you've got Diaz, who was young, who wasn't there defending for Portugal, winning on the back line, and Patricio in 2016. You didn't have Bruno Fernandes back then. I mean, Renato Sanchez was part of it. Okay, credit to him. He was creating some big runs. He was on that team in 2016. The big club experience ruined it. We should be playing a small club. Um, you know, who else? I mean, I think Jota was on the team in 2016. I mean, there are quite a bit of young faces at Portugal. You get my point on these guys. And the fact is that's what Belgium need to take advantage of is some of those experienced capped players. They're ready to win around Thibaut Courtois if it has to. Because Belgium were playing really conservative, let's not lose possession. Just try to pounce on mistakes. And when Portugal was playing a high line briefly at the 40th minute, I was like, oh my God, this is your moment. They are now playing a high line. I'm seeing it on the pitch. I'm observing what Portugal are doing. Belgium get it out wide to Thorgan Hazard. And what a beautiful curler. Patricio went the wrong way. What an amazing 42nd minute goal. And that was all because they got tactically outclassed. They lost the battle of chess. I mean, Courtois is like 29 years of age. That's Gematria of London. 1992 is also when Denmark won the Euro, so looking great for Denmark to make it to the semifinals. It can be rigged for England. Of course it can. If they certainly can rig it for England, but I think I'm going with the globalists. I think I'm going to go with the embarrassed. What if the French? Who gets the last laugh? Is it England now or is it France on the day of the final that their French-speaking neighbors in Belgium defeat England? This is going to get very juicy. Belgium is right up there, right below the United Kingdom, to the right of France. French make it what they want. They're still on top of the world as world champions if that happens, Really? That'd be pretty. The script is very good to interpret right now. But the two teams that kneel throughout the tournament is like Belgium and England, and then their neighbors are Wales and Scotland and whatnot. It's only Belgium that's doing it. So the globalists have their influence with BLM over at the UK, even though they're not in the EU. Could really prove to be fatal. They're not truly winning when they're still doing what globalist sponsors want. Is to continue to exploit a tragedy and to not do real change. We need to set up police commissions and all that, but the fact is, it's not happening right now. And something needs to go be done about that. But I mean, I don't know. You could do a stat line of the most capped footballing squads in history. The most group of players in the most certain amount of years to have played with each other. Which one was the very top one, on the list? I think Belgium has been with these guys forever. I mean, that'd be like year 8. If this core is still together, that would be pretty epic.